Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to review the Mirarobot S85 Cyclone FPV micro brushed quadcopter. This quadcopter is also being sold as the Ishin M80S and it comes in 4 versions. You can get it with an FRSKY, FlySky, DSM2 or you can get a ready to fly version. Inside this package we get in the instructions manual. Because this is the ready-to-fly version, it comes with a remote controller. This remote controller is operated by 3 AA batteries, which are not included. In addition, in the ready-to-fly set, we get in 2 batteries. These are 1S 25C HV 500 mAh batteries. Of course, we get in the quadcopter, a simple USB charger, and 1 set of spare propellers. This quadcopter features 8.5mm brushed motors and 40mm propellers. On the front we can find a 600 TV line FPV camera, which is connected to a 25mW VTX. On the bottom we can find this proprietary board. It doesn't support Betaflight and doesn't have any micro USB ports, so you won't be able to configure it. And finally on the back we can find this 2mm JST connector. The S85 weighs 42.5 grams without the battery and 44.9 grams including it. And even though it's got the 85 in its name, the wheelbase, according to my measurement, is actually about 75mm, and it has almost the same dimensions of the Makerfile Armor 80 Pro. In the ready-to-fly version, the quadcopter comes already bound to the remote controller. In case you need to rebound it or something like that, all you have to do is to press this button, turn on the remote controller. You can see that now this LED indicator is flashing. Connect the battery to the quadcopter. And you can see that now this LED indicator is solid, which means now the quadcopter is bound to the remote controller. On the remote controller itself, we can find the trim buttons for the roll and for the pitch. On the right side, we have these 2 buttons and these 2 buttons. The trim buttons for the throttle and for the yaw are located on the left side. These 2 OK buttons, these 2 buttons, and this button doesn't do anything. Over here we can find the power on and off switch. This button over here turns on the barometer, which means the quadcopter is going to try to maintain its height. On the top right corner we can find this flip button. If you want to perform a flip, you have to press it and then just tilt the joystick toward the direction of the desired flip. It also double acts as a return to normal mode button. And finally on the top left we can find this button, which changes the flight mode between 6-axis and 3-axis mode. So when you hear 1 beep, it means that now it's on stabilized mode, and when you hear 2 beeps, now it's on acro mode, which means the quadcopter is not going to stabilize itself. So let's say, for example, you roll to the right, the quadcopter is going to roll to the right until you're going to correct it. It's also going to enable you to perform flips and rolls, and I'm going to try it when I'm going to take it outdoors. According to my count, the quadcopter supports 24 channels. You can see, for example, channels 6, 7, and 8 are the same on frequency group A, and it also occurs on other frequency groups as well. So in order to toggle between these channels, you will have to short press the button on the back until you're going to reach your desired channel. And on the front, we can find this button, which in my opinion should be disabled. When you short press it, it's going to flip the image, and when you are going to double press it, it's going to mirror the image. You won't be able to control the quadcopter when you fly an FPV when the image is reversed or mirrored, so make sure before flying it that the image orientation is correct. Charging the battery is done with the provided USB charger. You can see that now when the battery is not connected, the LED indicator is green. After connecting the battery, it's going to turn red, and once the charging procedure will be finished, it's going to turn green again. Fully charging the battery should take you about an hour. You can check the battery status by connecting the battery to the quadcopter. You can see we have this LED indicator on top. When it's going to flash green, it means that the battery is fully charged. When it's yellow, it indicates that it's partly charged. And if it turns red, it means that the battery is depleted. This LED indicator is going to also tell you if the quadcopter is connected or not. So you can see, for example, right now it's connected. And if I'm going to turn off the remote controller, now the LED indicator is flashing blue. The next thing I'm going to do is to take the S85 for a test flight, and I'll see you in the end of this video in order to give you my conclusion. So overall, I think that the S85 is a decent quadcopter for a beginner, even though I think that the 6-axis mode / acro mode is not very usable, and I really had a hard time controlling the quadcopter when it was on this mode, so it's not recommended for a beginner to use this mode because it's just going to make him frustrated. In addition, the camera quality is pretty good, and the 25mW transmitter actually surpassed the control distance of the quadcopter, which is around 80 meters, so make sure not to get too far with this quadcopter, otherwise it's just going to be disconnected and you will need to go and fetch it. In addition, these motors provide plenty of thrust. You should expect about 4 minutes of flight time using the provided battery. You can see, by the way, that when you put the battery inside its bay, it kind of wobbles inside, so what I recommend to do is to put a little bit of sticky tape or something like that on top, and then it's going to make sure it's going to be properly secured. I do think that this bay should have been smaller in order to properly fit the battery, and in addition, I think that it could have been much better if this flight controller supported Betaflight and had a micro USB port so you could configure it. The frame itself is also not very flexible. You can see that I've got these parts already broken after a minor crash, so I think it should have been produced out of a more flexible material. If it happens to you, I think that the best way to fix it is using this UV glue. So you have to put some glue on the broken part, and then you have to use this ultraviolet light, and then it's going to make it harder, and in my experience it works pretty well. So as always, I thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you find it useful. If you have any questions about this quadcopter, feel free to ask it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell if you're not already subscribed. See you in my next videos, and goodbye.